It's a lot of niggas in the club tonight. But it's gonna be alright. Cause me and my clique, we don't give a fuck. Trick Daddy, let's go. If you want it, you can get it. Let me know. I'm about to break this thing up. Let's go. If you want it, you can get it. Let me know. I'm about to break this thing up. If you want some, come get some.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of FTW Future Focus. I am your not-so-humble correspondent, Robert Black, and underneath me is the talented young lady from North Carolina. She is the queen of Motown Wrestling Group on Facebook, the young and fabulous Ty Nickerson. How you doing, dear?
Man, it's good to be back. I missed y'all.
Oh, we missed you too. It was it's a lot of fun when you're around.
Don't you start.
You think we all look like Kenny Omega, so no. You over.
Oh, wow. Now
Don't you
just to let
that
everyone.
wasn't even necessary.
See, this is supposed to be a laid-back show this week because we've got two members of our crew who are kind of on travel right now. Marvelous Marcus Buckley and Tony Motown Allen are otherwise away from our discussion today because they are traveling and doing other activities. So we're going to have kind of a laid-back show today. At least I thought we were until that.
That's right. Ain't no laid back with me, baby. No.
Speaking of which, to my side is the founder of our feast, the president of FTW Network, my pal and friend, a hell of a promoter, hell of a professional wrestler, and the man with the plan, the mastermind, Bobby Rogers. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, and don't forget, I'm the biggest pain in the ass that y'all ever will have.
Well, I don't know about that because I happen to be one myself.
So the bigger pain in the ass, Mastermind or Hulk Hogan?
Oh,
wait. Listen up, sister. I'm nowhere near Hulk Hogan.
Nobody's near Hulk Hogan when it comes to chicanery, at least, you know.
Boy.
But anyway, today is a more laid-back show with the idea getting to know you. The mastermind has come up with a series of questions for the Three Musketeers here today. And it's basically going to be letting our audience know more about us and our personal tastes when it comes to professional wrestling. And, the questions are pursed out to where we can fill our 2 hours with the stuff that we enjoy personally. And I think we're going to get started with our favorite brand of wrestling. And Bobby, since you came up with the questions, you can have the first shot at this one.
My favorite brand of wrestling. I have so many initials and things to run through my head. There's WWE, there's TNA, there's AEW, there's New Japan. Then you got the independents. You got WCWO. You got the old NWP. You got Jersey Independent Wrestling. You got. I mean, I have so many initials in my head. I think I'm going through a thesaurus.
The old alphabet soup. You got that right.
Yeah.
So many to remember, you know.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool though because you're getting all that whole dynamic of everything. You know, me and you, Robert, especially. I don't know the experience you had time with independence, but we have been able to see everything from like the bottom grassroots grounds all the way up till they make it to the big time. It's awesome to see stuff like that.
Yes.
That's why some of our opinions might be a little different than what you see from, a Tony or a Marcus because of what we've seen and what we have experienced. Ty, well, let me ask you this, Ty. Have you had any experience anything with independence at all?
You mean, have I been to any independent wrestling shows?
Like, have you worked at any shows or been to shows?
Mm, I have, sadly, I have not.
Have you seen any?
I have not.
Have not. Okay,
I
well
have not.
that's fair enough.
This is a plan. We're gonna have a time when Ty takes a trip up here. We gotta take her to some independent shows and let her see
Well,
the difference.
well, yes, Indiana in particular has a lot of them, but
Yeah,
all over the country you'll find small local promotions who are basically the melting pot of where the up and comers come from.
that's right.
Anytime you see someone in a WWE Performance Center or the Strong Dojo out in California for New Japan, that's where these guys come from. That's where
Yeah.
they started.
And down the road, hopefully this year, we're in discussions with a couple of people to bring a series to everybody called Independent Island. Myself and Robert started this. What was it? A year or so ago? A year and a half ago, somewhere in
It's
there.
something like that. Yeah, year and a half ago.
And what we would do is go to independent federations, actually do a TV show for that federation and introduce it to the audience. It was a real big pickup, so I think we're going to start that again. But stay tuned for that. But let me get back to the basic question because I went off rambling and went off somewhere else. I have to say right now, my enjoyment when it comes to pro wrestling, my number one is WWE. Reason being is WWE is just right now telling stories on another level. All their stories make sense. They're concise. They're in order. You feel these people when they talk. When these people talk, it's not like some phony lines. Well, some of them are, but for the most part, it's not that like that anymore. It's more of realism and it's something that's coming from them. So I got to say, right now is WWE. Secondly, will probably be the independent scene because you got a lot of guys in the independents that are doing wonderful work right now that will be in WWE, AEW, and TNA. But as far as well-known ones, I got to say WWE is my number one.
Okay. Ty, where do you fall on this?
Regarding my favorite wrestling promotion?
Brand. Yeah.
Oh, your favorite wrestling brand. Okay. For me, right, I have three, but my top wrestling brand is NXT. And I'm gonna explain why.
Hmm.
Ever since NXT's been to to the CW, they've been killing it lately.
Yeah.
They have definitely been killing it.
Oba.
Especially with Obafemi.
Oba.
Sorry, he got beat down by the bootleg Shield. Sorry for that.
The bootleg Shield. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
It was either that or the Temu Shield.
Wow.
Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
If y'all ain't never seen Jordan Grace when she was Thick Mama Pump, go on YouTube and look up some of her past matches. You'll be impressed.
Oh yes, very impressed.
My number two favorite promotion, New Japan. They've been killing it too. Since they don't have a TV deal right now, I've been watching them since I think after AJ Styles left, because AJ Styles did a couple of matches with them when he had the Bieber cut. But we ain't gonna joke about that today.
Yes, we are.
Right now, they're doing this little thing with like Battle of the Factions with Bullet Club War Dogs and House of Torture. You know, as much as I want to see that going down, I can't. And number three is TNA. The reason why that's my favorite brand is, like I said, they're not getting their name out there because, you know, not many people have access TV. So the only way people can access the highlights from the recent shows is on YouTube. I mean, that's how I watch the highlights and stuff like that. Sometimes if I miss an episode, I go on YouTube and watch the highlights. And think about it, with them doing a NXT crossover with NXT, they're doing so much better than they did before NXT and TNA partnered with them. So those are my top 3 brands for 2025.
Okay. I'm gonna split my answer into 2 parts here. The first one is like my favorite modern brand, and that has to be AEW. I've defended it on here several times, and I will continue to, because after watching Grand Slam Australia, I kind of marathoned last night. Um, Grand Slam Australia and Vengeance Day, all great wrestling, by the way. Vengeance Day, aside from one moment that really made me want to throw up in my mouth, was a great show. NXT is the best that WWE has to offer on all levels. But AEW is my favorite modern brand because it has a perfect mix of everything that I enjoy. Cruiserweight wrestling, technical stuff, crossovers from different promotions, and it's the kind of wrestling in the modern era that I really want to see and appreciate. So as far as modern brands, AEW is the best for me. But my favorite brand of all time is ECW. Because not only did it offer the best of all worlds, but it was the one promotion that counter-programmed everything. If you thought professional wrestling was supposed to be one way, ECW did it the other, and they did it well. And in those 7 years, their stuff became so legendary that people still chant the promotion's name today. And there's a reason for that, because, I mean, for a lot of people, you just had to be there in order to experience the energy that ECW had. But I will always be an ECW fan because it came around at a time when we needed something radically different. And the echoes of how different ECW was, the shock waves of that can still be felt today.
I agree. But I want to ask a question. There's one for each of you guys.
All right.
Now, Ty, you watched more TNA than probably everybody here. What the hell is this Joe Henry thing? It scares the shit out of me. All right? I'm not going to lie to you.
It scares the mess out of you.
Yes. He looks like a person from Children of the Corn. He scares the shit out of me, man. That dude, I hear that. I believe in Joe Henry. And he turns around with the sun. Anytime a man with a sweater on him, with the sun in his back, he's a serial killer.
Oh, God.
Think about this.
How you
Think
get
about
Joe
the
Henry and
history.
Freddy Krueger mixed up?
No, not Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger was at nighttime. Any daytime serial killer. Think about this. He's got a sweater around him and the sun beams at the head. He turns around all of a sudden like, hey, it's scary. And people, I thought, when I first saw him, I said, this dude is a cult. This dude is a cult. And guess what? It's turning out that way. And it's scary as shit. What the fuck is up with this Joe Henry shit? Or Joe Henry or whatever.
Well, maybe majority of people like Joe Henry. Just like I like my main boo, Jeff Hardy's alter ego, Willow. Yeah, he might be Joe Henry might be nightmare fuel to you, but some people like him. Some people are obsessed with him, Everybody has different tastes. Everybody likes what they like and what they
Well,
like.
okay, Bobby. Here's an idea that might help this. In professional wrestling, we get possibly the most unique opportunity available to create the most weirdly appealing personalities in entertainment. And Joe Hendry falls into that category because, well, I mean, think about this. Why would the Fiend, as portrayed by Bray Wyatt, be in any way appealing to anyone?
I can
He
answer
might
that.
be appealing to some people, but to other people, he might not be that appealing. Like I said,
Right.
like I said earlier, everybody likes who they like. You got people that love the Fiend, God rest his soul, and you got some that don't like the Fiend because he's scary. That's the point of that was the point of his gimmick.
Right. I mean, here's the thing. Joe Hendry seems to me like a more charismatic Mr. Rogers. A Mr. Rogers that can wrestle. And, some people find Mr. Rogers creepy. So it just, every taste is different, obviously, because that's what we're talking about today, our personal tastes as far as wrestling is concerned. But I think the appeal of Joe Hendry is the idea that he is supposed to be this faux motivational wrestler who is supposed to be a role model, but at the same time is a scary role model. And in a way, Mr. Rogers is a scary role model. Some people find straight-laced individuals rather disturbing, like Bobby just pointed out. Yeah, I mean, the mild-mannered man next door may be engaging in secret cannibalism by kidnapping people off the street and turning them into stew. So, and you get that vibe from Joe Hendry. I don't get that, but maybe I'm not looking at it correctly.
He just freaks me the hell out. He just freaks me the hell out.
Okay.
All right, but the next question I had, real quickly.
Yeah.
We talked about ECW. You talked about ECW.
Yes.
And the actual things to where you said you had to be there.
Yeah.
I think AEW, just tell me if I'm wrong. I think AEW had the same thing when it started. I think it still has it overseas. But I think that same steam of you had to be there to understand lost itself in the United States. Do you think ECW made you more personally involved with the wrestlers themselves than AEW has? What does AEW do? I mean, not AEW, but ECW do, besides have Paul Heyman, that that really elevated it to where you cared about what happened. And now with some of us, I can't say all, because you're passionate about AEW.
Okay.
I lost that passion.
Well, okay. The secret to ECW's success was the unknowable factor. There was a chaos that surrounded ECW that was self-made, and that it made it must-see TV because you really didn't know what they were going to do next, especially considering the fact that their talent was constantly being poached, especially in the later years. We're talking 97, 98, 99. You never knew who from ECW was going to sign with either WWF or WCW. So in that case, you really didn't know what ECW was going to do in response to that. But more than that, ECW was the was its essence was anarchy. And because it was so fresh and because it was so chaotic, you never knew what was going to happen. And most of the time, what did happen was compelling and different, and more likely than not, ultra violent, which is what ECW made its bread and butter on. Now, the reason that AEW, I mean, it's debatable as to whether it's lost all of that appeal in America, but I think the reason that maybe it has like lost some of that ECW feel is because they have slowly but surely become more television centric. Not that they do episodic television particularly well, but they have become a more they have become a more commercial product, as much as I hate to say that. When AEW started out in the first couple of years, they were more or less just an independent wrestling promotion on a major television network. And that's what everybody wanted at the time. That was basically the spirit of All In. People wanted the indies spotlighted on a huge platform in the United States. And the only way that you could get that kind of thing was by watching wrestling overseas, and that's why AEW is still massively popular there. I mean, look at Grand Slam Australia. They had a full house, and everybody was cooking during that whole thing. Now, AEW can still have that appeal in the United States. They just need to turn the marketing side up, and they need to be more cohesive with their booking. But I understand what you're talking about in that you lost your passion for AEW, and that has to do with mismanagement from the top, and I'm not going to deny that. A lot of that is definitely a problem with AEW, and it has been from the beginning, no doubt about it. But the appeal of it is that unknowable chaotic factor, that anarchy factor. You never know what's going to happen. And that was part of ECW's overall appeal. Things could go crazy in any point in the show, and you just never knew when it was going to happen.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Mm.
I never thought of it like that, but yeah, good point. All right, let's go to our next subject. Oh, excuse me.
Yes, our next subject is top male and female superstars in 3 categories, and we're going to go one by one.
Yep. And let's start off with WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your favorite male superstar and why? Let's start with Ty again.
Okay, before I start, can this also be from NXT?
Yes, that's part of WWE.
Okay. All right. My male superstar is definitely, oh God, this is hard. It's a tie for me, it's a tie between Lexis King and Obafemi.
Ah.
And I'm gonna explain why. Lexis King, I know him as Brian Pillman Jr. when he was in AEW, and I think he's done a few matches for MLW, but I also like to joke and call him Joe Exotic Jr.
Wow.
Because he used to have the mullet, but that's a story for another time. Lexis King, ever since Lexis King has started at NXT, he's starting to grow on me a little bit. When he first started out, he was the cocky, arrogant heel, which I loved. Because that's the best part of being a heel. You got to be cocky. You got to be arrogant. You got to have some, badness to you. now that he's a face and he's the current Heritage Cup holder, he's starting to grow on me a little bit. I do wish he would work a little bit of that cocky, arrogant heel side to him too. I don't like him as just a face. You can be a tweener, you can be both a heel and a face, but you also have to work some of your heelish tendencies in also. Obafemi, I like him because he's a powerhouse. He's the dominant characteristics that to me is what he has. They don't call him the ruler of NXT for a reason.
Well, I was certainly impressed with him last night.
Yeah, both these guys I like because they're growing on me a little bit. So
Rob, go ahead.
Okay, my favorite male wrestler in WWE is a guy that has mostly flown under people's radar for all the wrong reasons. Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura is, if you took Bruce Lee and Prince and made a mutant wrestler baby, that's what you would get, Shinsuke Nakamura.
That is true.
And
I don't like what they're doing with Nakamura, to be honest.
Well, like I said, he's flown under the radar and he's not gotten the kind of opportunities that he should have gotten in WWE, mainly because he can't cut a 15-20 minute promo in unbroken English, which I think is an absolute shame, because when you put the man in the ring, he delivers in not only a fantastically skilled way, but a unique one as well. And the fact that he's had a resurgence recently and they put the U.S. title on him says that maybe things are getting a little better in WWE as far as creative goes, but I still have my doubts, and I'll cover that later once we get to the latter half of the show. But I love Nakamura because he is a unique talent. He is he has a unique style to him. He's quick. He's compelling in an interview, even though he does them in Japanese. That part doesn't bother me at all. He just needs to be unleashed to his full potential, and WWE has never wanted to do that, in my opinion. So Shinsuke Nakamura gets my number one as far as WWE is concerned.
They just need to light a fire under his ass just to get the momentum going.
Well, I don't think it's so much the fire. I just think it's the people that are writing for him don't know what the heck to do with him.
Because he wasn't always like this, because I saw the match I saw from him was against AJ Styles at Wrestle Kingdom. I think it was either Wrestle Kingdom 8 or Wrestle Kingdom 10.
Okay, the basic problem here is that whatever Nakamura was doing in NXT, which was awesome, Nakamura's run in NXT was second to none. It was fantastic. And then, for whatever reason, it got lost in translation between the NXT roster and the main roster. And that is a long and storied thing with pretty much everyone that's come up from NXT.
Well, I want to ask this. If Nakamura was still in NXT, do you think he would get the shine that he got in NXT then if he would have stayed in NXT and had he not gotten called up?
Not in the 2.0 era of NXT, the tie-dye puke logo era of NXT. No.
I mean,
that was ridiculous.
Right now they're in the silver and black era.
Yes. Yeah, but the black and gold was like where Nakamura shined the most. I'm not really sure if that would work right now. Maybe because NXT is more of a it's become more controlled, I guess you would say. But they are still the best part of WWE programming, to my mind. Bobby, who do you got?
This is hard. It's real hard because I got two guys in mind, and Ty already named one over Pevy. That's my dude.
Mm-hmm.
Over's my dude. Over's killing it. He's just, I mean, but you're gonna be shocked when I say this name, Logan Paul.
Ah, damn, he done said it. He said it.
Let me
Jesus,
tell
take
you
the
why,
wheel.
though.
Okay.
And Rob, I think you will understand why I probably got a soft spot for him.
I have to hear this.
He reminds me of me, only more popular and white. The guy has a very, very strong passion for the business. Okay, he loves wrestling. He loves a lot of stuff about wrestling. I think he honestly could have took his money and opened his own federation, but he decided to go to WWE. Okay, the man has taken to trading like nothing. He's not like these other celebrities who came in there and BS and played around and thought, like Steve-O when he got stumped by Umaga and thought it was funny. He didn't do that. He came in and he's put on some damn good fucking matches with some top fucking talent. No matter how much we clown on him being a celebrity, but we really got to look at it and admit the man has put in work. The man has put in a lot of work. And the man has the heart where he really cares for it. He stopped doing, well, I mean, there was a controversy about one thing, but for the most part, he's taken most of his year to do a tour. I mean, even though I don't like the celebrity thing, even though I don't think he should be boosted up there ahead of everybody, I still got to give him that respect of stepping into that arena, stepping into that big stage arena, and working his ass off to the point to where he's at that level of even being competitive. That's something that you got to admire and respect, no matter how much of a celebrity he is. And I think he's probably the best celebrity that ever came out and wrestled besides a football player or something, you know. I mean, the man worked his ass off. And yeah, I clown on him. I do clown on him because he got a big mop head and he's from Cleveland and he's an idiot. Yeah. I mean, I clown on him, but the respect factor is there because he's going there and doing something that a lot of people can't and don't have the ability to do or the skill to do or the want to know how to do. And he has all that.
Okay, Bobby, I think I'm going to shock the piss out of you right now.
Oh, shit.
Everything that you're saying is 100% valid. And I have I have a reputation on here as being a curmudgeonly son of a bitch as far as certain people getting into professional wrestling because half the time they screw it up and you know, people might look at me as a gatekeeper. Okay. My main problem with Logan Paul is number one, the celebrity factor. Number two, the outright endorsement commercialism stuff that he does. And the fact that he jumped the line like 3 or 4 times ahead of all the things that you mentioned. However, I do have to concede that he does take professional wrestling a hell of a lot more seriously than any other celebrity that has ever gotten into it. David Arquette, for example.
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
I mean, just
Why did you have to mention him?
because I'm making a point. Believe me, if I could drink enough alcohol to make me forget that son of a bitch was a world heavyweight champion at one point, I would drink it, okay?
Well, let's get tipsy.
Hey, if you got the time, I got the beer. But I
All
think
right, let's go.
no, it would take more than 2 hours of drinking to make me forget how much David Arquette sucks. But
I'm going about 8 or 10 on that one. But yeah.
yeah, more than likely. But my point is that, yes, I do give Logan Paul a lot of shit, and I think it's deserved. However, I will concede that as far as celebrity participation in wrestling goes, his is a lot more serious. And yes, he did train. And yes, he has had some watchable matches. I'm not going to say that they were decent, because he came like a hair's breadth away from seriously injuring Rey Mysterio. And that happened.
Whoa. That wasn't Logan Paul's fault. He actually saved Rey Mysterio. Saved Rey Mysterio.
Oh well, okay. Well, that's debatable. There's a point. Both of them were out of position for that particular maneuver, and thank God that Logan Paul was there to make the catch when it was, before it turned into a disaster. Yeah, but number one, he's green. And number two, he's there long before he should have been. But still, factoring all that in, I'm going to untighten my sphincter in this particular instance and say that Logan Paul does deserve a measure of respect for the respect that he's given to the art. So in that particular instance, Bobby, we are on at least half the same page. I'll give you that.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, you said speaker. Anyway, you ain't right, bro. All right, let's get to the next section. We're just gonna do AEW. Let's do
AEW men.
Yeah, AEW men. Rob, you're the AEW guy. Who's your favorite guy out of AEW?
Currently, out of AEW, my favorite guy to watch is Will Ospreay. Ospreay has just about everything in a wrestler that I would prefer to have. He is a tremendously gifted athlete inside the ring. He moves like a cat. He's also a compelling character. He does a great promo. It's to the point, and it's hard edged, and he has the ability to captivate any audience that he's in front of. Now, there are a lot of guys in AEW, in my opinion, that resemble that remark. You've got Swerve, you've got Fletcher, you've got Takeshka, any number of guys that are on the AEW roster that fit that bill, but Ospreay right now is just untouchable, and I can't wait to see what kind of 2025 that guy is going to have. So my right now, Ospreay for AEW.
Okay, Ty.
Okay.
I kind of figured, is it Jericho or is it Omega? Which one does it?
Why you gonna bring both my men's into it?
Because I thought it was gonna be one of them two.
For me, it's a tie between Will Ospreay and damn, why you gonna make it hard? See, y'all gonna have to come back to me.
Okay, well, you got one of them, Osprey.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's it is a hard choice though, because AEW has a lot of. My second choice on that would be Joe. Samoa Joe has always been. I have been a Samoa Joe fan since 2005.
Yeah,
Ever
Joe's cool.
Yeah, Samoa Joe is just an unbeatable personality. He's a tank of a professional wrestler, and his reign as AEW World Champion was just a terrific run. I loved what they were doing with him, and and who he was in there with. It was just uncomparable.
That's right. CM Punk, baby. CM Punk. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you mine. Y'all gonna laugh because there's so many people that everybody would say, but I don't think people would say this one with me. I'm really bringing some shocking stuff here today.
Mm.
My favorite out of AEW is Christian.
Okay. I
I
can get.
love
Yeah.
Christian. I'm sorry, that dude's crazy. I mean, talking about having a career that was okay, but then when you go someplace else, you take it to another level. Christian has risen his stock, has one of the few that's risen his stock from leaving WWE. I mean, Christian is just a beast. I love that dude on the mic. I love what he does. I love his heel persona. He should never stop it. I hope he stumps Edge into the ground and Edge can't come back anymore because I just like to see Christian just come up on it once. So
I
yeah.
call him Adam Copeland because I can't cope with cope.
Yeah, I
Not
can't
even
cope
with
it.
scope or a bar of soap. The answer
Nope.
is nope.
And I want to elope. So yeah, I got you. I ain't mad at you on that one. No.
I'm going to smoke some dope if they don't stope with cope.
Oh, hey.
Stop with cope.
As long as it's green, I ain't gonna be mean. Anyway. And the next one's the other category. That could be TNA, New Japan, blah blah blah, or independent. So
the
Rob,
other
go.
category. Okay. For that one, I'm going to give kind of an off-the-wall answer to give a guy that I have worked with before some props.
Okay.
A guy who recently went to Japan and did a fabulous tour, and who may or may it's possible that he may show up in AEW soon, within the next 6 months or so. I'm hoping. But there's a guy out there named Public Enemy Eric Dillinger.
Oh,
That guy, I worked with him in New Wave Pro Wrestling. I called some of his great matches in that promotion. And Eric Dillinger, Public Enemy, is a very sweet individual outside of the ring, but when you get him inside of the ring, he is a ruthless, lethal SOB. He does death matches and technical matches. He can fly. He can do submissions. He can do it all. Eric Dillinger is a one-of-a-kind independent performer, and when we were breaking down these categories, I had a lot of heart and feeling for him, because as far as independent wrestling goes, this guy is a success story, and he's going to be bigger still, and coming to AEW soon, I hope, is Eric Dillinger. But yeah, he's my pick for the other category.
right on time.
Okay, for the other category, I would have to pick Josh Alexander.
Yes.
So I know he just had this past Thursday with Impact, he just had his last match against Eric Young.
Mm-hmm.
The reason he's my favorite for the other category is because ever since he was in TNA when he partnered with All Ego Ethan Page in the North, he has that momentum wrestling wise. I don't care if he's a heel or face, tweener. I don't care. Josh Alexander gets my respect. He puts on a hell of a lot of matches. His wife, his real life wife, she was the ring announcer for Impact. She's done some wrestling. I think she's done some wrestling too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But for the other category, Josh Alexander gets my vote, and I hope he does join AEW somewhere down the line in 2025.
That's the rumor. That the rumor is Josh Alexander is bound for All Elite. I don't know if that's confirmed yet, but there you go.
Well, like I said, until it's confirmed, I'm taking these rumors with a grain of salt, and I hope he does go to AEW. If not, maybe Ring of Honor.
He would fit in Ring of Honor, definitely.
Yeah,
Bobby, what's your third?
Mine is an independent guy. Somebody I rival with. Somebody got a lot of respect for. Somebody I've had, I can say, some professional experience with. And that's Sam Knight, the right hand of God.
Yeah. Oh,
Sam
hell
Knight
yes.
is a beast. He's
Yes.
a blockhead, but he's a beast. Yeah, Sam, I said you're a blockhead. Hush. Anyway, but all jokes aside, the man's a consummate professional in that ring. He can cut a promo like no other. His spear is devastating. I felt him a couple of times, and boy, my ribs are tingling just thinking about it. The man can work that ring. He should be in AEW. He should be in the eyesight of WWE. He should definitely be in TNA right now. I think he is somebody that a lot of these big names have missed out on because this guy can go. So
yeah, Sam deserves a shot. He certainly does.
Sam, if you're watching, what's up, Moose? Keep doing your thing. I'm still mad at you about that spear. I don't give a damn. But you know what? Yeah, you remember that shit. You speared the shit out of me out of my shoes. But I nothing but love for you, bro. One of the best professionals there is Sam Knight. Sam Knight.
Oh yeah, Sam Knight is fantastic.
Let's go on to the women because I didn't know it was gonna go this long. Women, favorite women, WWE. Since you're the lady here, Ty.
Zaria.
Sweet.
NXT.
Oh God. You just got see, that's Kenny Omega to you is what Zaria is to me.
Hey, don't forget, I like Jericho and Jeff Hardy, but we ain't gonna get into that topic.
No. We gonna leave
Zaria from NXT, that's my home girl. That is my home girl.
I like you more than my home girl.
Because
Yeah. I love Zaria. Oh my God.
Zaria's a beast.
Cool.
Ever since she debuted at the last NXT live event, she is a force to be reckoned with in a good way. And I love her tag, and I love the partnership with Sol Ruka.
Yeah, I saw that.
She's done some other, like when she's wrestled in Australia, but she didn't go by Zaria at the time. She went by Delta.
Yep.
So anybody want to see what Zaria is all about? Check out her matches, her past matches in Oceanic Pro Wrestling down in Australia. If you want to get a feel for what Zaria is all about, but
I would love to get a feel for Zarya.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. I was wondering when we were going to get on the board.
Oh, I would love to get on the board with her. Oh God, yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Wow.
Yeah.
I think that
Zarya
might.
is my favorite female wrestler.
Cool.
Zarya is sexy as hell. Oh, I'll go next.
Okay.
As far as wrestling wise, because I got to keep my head straight on this one because of Zarya, and she just popped that in my. That's not even fair. Her and Jordan Grace, but see, Jordan Grace is married to Jordan Grisham, so I can't even look at it like that though. That's my dude. But Zarya, boy, Nikita Lyons is Zarya. Anyway, favorite female wrestler. As everybody know, I'm very into female wrestling. I love watching. I love seeing what's going on with them. Man, right now I got to give my hats off to Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany time.
It is.
Sorry.
I mean, that girl.
Had to do it.
I love when she was at NXT. I like what she's doing now. I like that she's going against Charlotte. Oh my God. And she might be the first NXT person to beat Charlotte on her first try. I really want to see it. I really want to see it. And I hope Tiffany Stratton walks off with that title at WrestleMania. But Tiffany Stratton is my pick. I ain't even got to say that. Just look her up. You'll know it is. You'll know by just watching. Next, AEW Women. Raw.
I didn't get mine yet.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. My favorite WWE woman is currently out on injury, but her reputation speaks for itself. I'm talking about Asuka. Yeah. Asuka is one of the most compelling women's wrestlers of all time. She is fantastic in the ring. She has an entrance that nobody can top. Even though I do complain about elaborate entrances a lot of times, as long as it doesn't take up half the damned match and it doesn't take away from the in-ring action, I can live with an entrance that's elaborate. But the way that Asuka has developed and evolved in WWE is just an incredible journey, especially if you start off in NXT and work your way up to where she is now. Hopefully she comes back from injury soon. But just Asuka is just an incredible performer, and I just can't get enough of her. So Asuka for me, WWE wise. Were you going to go lead off with me with AEW women?
Yes.
Okay. Hikaru Shida. Again, a lady that has been out on injury, but has been kind of on the lower end of the radar lately. But Hikaru Shida is a all-round, just unapologetic Joshi performer, and I straight up Japanese Joshi professional wrestler, and I adore that, especially with the kendo stick and the fact that she can be a cruel heel as well as an inspirational babyface. I absolutely love that aspect of who she is. She's the only 3-time AEW Women's World Champion. She was the first one anyway. And I can't get enough of her style, especially the flash and the substance to her that comes out. So, and I'm the Joshi apologist here on Future Focus. So Hikaru Shida is my girl for AEW.
God.
Julia Hart.
Huh? I really want to know this one.
Okay.
Sweet.
Let me explain. Jewel, ever since she started aligning herself with the Hounds of Hell, formerly the House of Black, she has gained my respect. Gimmick wise, she's went through an evolution from being the cheerleader for Varsity Blondes to being the goth queen of the Black Throne that she is now. And ever since she came back from injury, she's improved a little bit, not a lot, a little bit. It takes time to get back into the swing of things. My second AEW wrestler for the women, Megan Bain.
Mm.
Okay.
Sweet.
Oh,
Bobby, AEW.
man, I got a lot to choose from. I don't know where I'm gonna pick from AEW women. What am I gonna do? Serena D. I mean, it's just simple.
There you go.
I mean, the girl can work. The girl, I think, is underused, but I think she's one of the best women out there. I think she's better than anybody there, really, just to tell you the truth, except Thunder Rosa. Um, but again, not used enough as dealing with the company. But we don't get all that. That's just gonna make me mad and cry. So
I feel like she's underutilized in AEW.
she is very much.
Oh
So.
yeah. I mean, there is a lot of organizational problems that AEW has, especially with the women's division. But like Bobby said, we won't get into that. This is about our favorite people.
Next is independents, women independent, other category, independents, TNA, all that goofy stuff.
For women.
Yeah. So do you have one now?
I'm sorry, who?
Independent women.
Other category, independent, TNA, stuff like that.
Okay. I have two choices. I got two of my favorites. The first one is Mayu Iwatani, currently from New Japan and Stardom. The reason she's one of my favorites is she's the longest reigning IWGP Women's Champion. Put some respect on her name. She's also done a couple of matches when she was in Ring of Honor when they had before they revamped. She's done a few matches for them too. But she's my favorite because every time she defends the IWGP Women's title, she puts in some work. She's not the longest reigning IWGP Women's Champion for no reason. She's that way for a reason. My second pick for it's definitely Kenzie Page from the new NWA. She's one half of the current NWA Women's Tag Team Champions with Big Mama, and she was also the NWA Women's Champion.
Okay.
Cool.
Rob.
This was a huge thing for me because there's a whole lot of women on the independent wrestling circuit that deserve a lot of recognition, and hats off to them, because I love independent women's wrestling in particular because there's a lot of skill there. Currently, a lady that I think needs some good recognition is Smiling Kylie Ray. I love that girl. Her personality is just golden. And I love inspirational babyface wrestlers when they are able to hype up a crowd the way that Kylie does. And I was privileged enough to call a match for Kylie Ray in New Wave Pro when she made a appearance there. So even in a place like GCW, where I also saw her perform, it was she's an unbelievably versatile wrestler, and you really want to get behind her because she has that bubbly baby face, innocent wrestler type of thing going, like Bailey had, and that will become relevant later. But Kylie Ray deserves a lot of props for what she does, especially since she may be getting bigger opportunities here soon. So, that's my pick for the other category.
Other category, first of all, girl out of TNA, which is now in WWE. Oh, yeah, she's in WWE now. God dog it. So I can't pick her.
Well, you could, if she hasn't really...
No, she signed the contract, so I can't pick her.
Oh.
Man, I forgot. That sucks. Well, I go to my one that I have. We've called a match for out of the independent scene. I love this woman. This woman can go Shield Maiden.
Yeah, Shield Maiden.
Sorry, if you have not seen Shield Maiden, you need to see this girl go. This girl can work. Mm-hmm. She can hit you. She reminds me of Zarya a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, only Shield Maiden's like my sister. Zarya, my wife. But other than that, I mean, Shield Maiden is off the charts. This girl has a spirit of her own. She makes me feel better. She makes me feel better about Sam Knight's spirit when I see her do somebody else. I mean, I get hyped when I see this girl. This girl could go. Shield Maiden and Fedea Ragnarok, they're a tag team, but Shield Maiden, that's number one for me right there. Number one.
Cool. Now, I would like to make a very brief point here. Anyone watching our show who is whether or not you're a professional wrestling fan, if you hear a name that we mention on this program and you don't know who they are, don't hesitate to look them up. Do your research, because when professional wrestling is a participation audience type of experience. If you don't know who somebody is and you look them up, you may find a category of professional wrestling that you may have overlooked in the past and that you could really latch onto and sink your teeth into. There is, once you go down that rabbit hole, you'll become a much bigger and much more rounded fan than you are if you only watch Raw Monday nights. Exactly. So, if you hear a name, if we mention somebody and you don't know who they are, just Google them, look them up, and find them, because that will enrich your experience with professional wrestling.
Like Zarya.
Exactly. Like Asuka.
Ooh.
And thank you for joining us on FT. I'll give myself one there.
I started it.
That sounded kind of lecherous on my part. I apologize.
With me and my side boo and my other boo.
Well, we all have our personal favorite.
And my side boo Kenny Omega is my second pick for favorite male wrestler.
Ooh.
Oh, now come on. Kenny has still got it. Grand Slam Australia, he did a damn fine job in that tag team match.
Well, I would agree. He still got it.
Okay, cool. All right, our next category is our favorite match type. And if you don't mind, I would like to go first on this one because mine is kind of an old school answer.
What's up?
My favorite match type is still the steel cage. The steel cage is a classic way to end feuds, and it has become such a versatile match in the last 30-35 years or so. It used to be where the weapon was the cage itself, and it's kind of evolved into a different kind of match where you can have just all kinds of stuff going on in the cage. But essentially the cage itself is kind of a third opponent within the match because it can cut you, it can break you. It's a platform for jumping off of. It's an integral part of a wrestling match when you put a steel cage into it. And some of the most classic and important feuds in wrestling history have ended up in a cage one way or another. So a steel cage, whether you're talking mesh or bars. I prefer mesh, but the old school blue barred steel cages were fun in their own way, but I prefer the mesh. But steel cage is still my favorite type of match for professional wrestling, bar none.
Ty, go ahead.
Falls count anywhere.
Ah,
Why do you like that one? I wouldn't have picked that. I wouldn't have thought that with you.
The reason I picked this match is because I don't like it. It's the point of a falls count anywhere match is basically y'all fighting all over the place. I don't give a damn if y'all fighting at Harris Teeter, Walmart, Home Depot, in the arena, outside the arena, in the parking lot. I don't give a damn. The second favorite part about a falls count anywhere match is anybody can get involved at some point. I don't care if it's another wrestler. I don't care if it's your side chick, your side dude. Anybody can get involved in this.
Cool.
Well, my answer is going to be a little different because it's hardly been done in the big rings, and I wish they would. I've done this match, and I think it was one of the best matches that I enjoyed. I had so much fun, and I wish they would do it more in the bigger federations, but for some reason, it seems like they don't. And it is the Iron Man submission match. I love that match. I love how you can structure that match. I love how you can build off that match and get to that match with all the hype towards it. I don't think you can do to get the hype to get to it. It's a match that really, honestly, could be the match of all matches if you had the two right people. And unfortunately, a lot of fans don't do it.
Well, Bobby, I think you just answered your own question. Why the major federations don't do Iron Man submission matches? It's because they can't get the right people for that. You need submission specialists in order, and WWE and AEW are like woefully short of submission specialists. And that may be one of the, but however, I will give you this. That is one of the more unique Iron Man matches that are out there. And I would love to see somebody do it on a major network, especially if they had a 1 hour time limit and could really milk the match for all that it's worth.
I did a 30-minute. I didn't do an hour. I did 30 minutes. I don't even think I could hang an hour doing that, but I did 30 minutes.
Well, very few people could. And that's another reason why, because that's an endurance challenge. You have to have a lot of cardio in order to be able to do a submissions match, period, let alone an Iron Man.
But
Because
see,
that,
this is where AEW comes in, and this is why I wish AEW. I wish I worked for AEW. I really do,
me too.
because you have you had at one time Daniel Bryan and you had Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah.
How the hell don't you come up with that match and outsell everybody?
Yeah. I would have.
Jonathan Gresham is called the Octopus for a reason.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan is Daniel Bryan. We know about him.
Mm-hmm.
How don't you put them two together and build a story? You could do this for a year and make all types of bank. Daniel Bryan and Jonathan Gresham going at it. Or if Daniel Bryan want to stay retired right now, they can still do it. Hire Jonathan Gresham, make him go nuts. He starts breaking people's arms and legs and stuff, doing different submissions. And then Daniel Bryan comes back for one match and says, "This is how I stand. Let's do this."
That would be a hell of an ROH main event.
It'd be a hell of an AEW main event.
It'd be a hell of a WWE main event.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. Money left on the table. You know, I need to give me a couple $1 million.
Well, yeah. If I had a couple $1 million, that my first thought wouldn't be wrestling. And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. Oh,
that was
wow.
a hard situation. Okay.
Well, we got to get him in some way. And
that's what you said.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. Oh man. Well, we're like I said, we're taking it easy today.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not doing nothing hard or anything, so.
Absolutely. Now, Bobby, we have a word from our sponsor scheduled.
Yes. Speaking about beating people, guys, I know everybody likes to go get their steaks, have a good time, watch wrestling. It's pretty cool, but the place is, where do you get your steaks at? And the one place you get your steaks at is the meat shop. The meat shop over here. Excuse me. Meat shop of Indianapolis, 1221 South High School Road, Indianapolis. Got all assortments of meats. They have all assortments of packages. They got a summer package they're coming out with. It's pretty decent. You get a lot of beef in that. You should go on their website. You can check it out. The meat shop of Indianapolis, because I'm telling you, summer's coming up. You want to stock up. You want to barbecue. You want to do all types of stuff. So let's stop playing around with these grocery stores, charging these ridiculous prices on meat that just isn't that good for you. Go to the meat shop, Indianapolis, 1221 South High School Road, right off of Washington, Indianapolis. I'm telling you, right about 465 exit. You can't miss it. The meat shop. You can't beat that meat. Definitely can't.
Yes, and a word for your health. If you're on a keto diet, then nothing is better for you than damn good meat. So check out the meat shop of Indianapolis. It's going to be, yes, absolutely. Now, speaking of fresh bleeding meat, it is time for our tapped out moment of the week. And the innovator of the tap out segment, Marvelous Marcus Buckley, is not here. So we will give the honors of first dibs to Ty. What was your tap out this week?
My tap out goes to Hulk Hogan.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
He said that he did not enjoy the Super Bowl halftime show featuring Kendrick Lamar. I did not watch the Super Bowl, nor did I watch the halftime show featuring Kendrick Lamar. But he sat there and said that he couldn't understand nothing Kendrick Lamar was saying, and this, that, and the third. First of all, Hogan, who the hell asked you? Now, if it was Chris Stapleton, Willie Nelson, or MAGA enthusiast Kid Rock performing at the halftime show, your dick would get hard and you would come in your pants. brother.
Thank you for joining us.
And he would have loved the halftime show, but apparently everybody else loved it, and everybody's doing the dance with Kendrick Lamar.
Wow.
So I don't know what the hell Hulk Hogan was griping about. So I'm gonna need Hogan to take him and the racist Tessa Blanchard. They can go sit in the fucking corner because then nobody asked him about the halftime show. He gets my tap out.
Okay. Well, okay. My tap out is equally as shitty. Apparently, yes, that's where I was going with this.
Oh, really? I was joking when you said.
No, Vince McMahon gets my tap out of this week because apparently the rumor is, according to Vince's lawyers, this might not be completely confirmed, but apparently Vince's attorneys have come out and said that the federal investigation has come up empty and that Vince is not going to be criminally charged with anything.
Damn,
now,
it's a cold day in hell for me.
Well, see, the reason that I'm giving this my tap out is not necessarily because I was hoping that Vince would get charged with something, because God knows whether he really did anything illegal or not. It depends on whether you take the word of Janelle Grant. But the fact that the criminal investigation is over, and the only thing that Vince has to do is settle a civil case for $10-12 million or 15, maybe in that range. I'm very much afraid that means that the TKO board member chair that The Rock has been warming his ass with is going to suddenly become vacant once The Rock gets more movie commitments, and that Vincent Kennedy McMahon,
Kennedy McDiddler,
Vince McDiddy will be back on the TKO board like nothing ever happened, and we'll be meeting the new boss the same as the old boss. And because of that fear, to me, is my tap out, because I do not want Vince McMahon back in the professional wrestling business, but it looks like it's inevitable now that the federal charges have been knocked out of the box. Bobby, what's your tap out?
I'm laughing, and I laughed at time for a reason, because I thought I was going to be the only one to pick that. It's the same thing. Hulk Hogan. I thought I was going to be the only one to pick that, and Ty just stole it from me. Because, I'm sorry, I don't see how in the hell Hulk Hogan can say anything about anything. And he should really just shut his mouth and just go to an old folks' home. I mean...
I wasn't lying when I said it.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
I was telling the truth.
Yeah, you are. And that's a shoot.
And I had to throw in the little Kendrick Lamar dance. I tried to do it the best way everybody else could, but you know.
Hey, but you know what all we gotta say about that when it comes to Hulk Hogan. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Oh.
I'm telling you. Because get it tied. There you go. Because I'm telling you, Hogan was way out of line. Hogan was way out of line. And again, I hope his daughter escapes from that hell.
Well, she recently just gave birth to twins. So Hogan is a grandfather for the first time.
Oh, kids.
Oh! Damn! Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. Wow. We're not getting as many dings today, but they are saucy ones.
I can just see him talking to his grandkids. Listen up, grandkids. You guys don't understand what's going on here, you kids. When I was your age, I was lifting a giant high above my head and walking around naked in front of cameras.
Oh,
Yeah.
Such are the difficulties of being a Hulkamaniac in the 21st century.
Well,
Speaking of mental acuity, our moment of the week. I'm going to start this one out because this one is going to maybe be a shock to some people.
yeah,
Because, like I said, I have a reputation for being Mr. No Fun and not liking comedy stuff. But my moment of the week is actually kind of a humorous thing involving wrestling. And it happened on NXT in the go home show before Vengeance Day. Rockley, Roxanne Perez coming out in Bailey's gear to her old music in order to distract her in her match and cost her the win. To me, that is how comedy and wrestling should be done. It should be smart. It should be it should be in-ring humor, and it should be done in a way that moves a storyline along. And Roxley in that segment was all of those things. And plus, I think that it kind of alludes to a longing that some of us have for bubbly baby face Sandra D. Bailey to come back, or at least make a brief appearance at some point. A lot of people miss that character, and the fact that people were cheering Roxley when that happened. Well, they did boo her because they knew what she was doing, but there were a lot of people that liked that imagery. So that would be my moment of the week, just because it was funny, it was cute, and it involved something that people actually enjoy. So a comedy spot gets my moment of the week. Cheap Pop.
Shocking. Shocking. Go. Moment of the week.
Did you not have one?
I did, but there were two moments that got my attention. Number one was from Grand Slam Australia. Masai Boo and Will Ospreay versus the Don Fallis family. Moment of the week.
Okay. Cool.
And my other moment of the week has to be from Vengeance Day. Stephanie Vaquer winning the NXT North American Women's title from Fallon Henley, aka Hee-Haw Biatch.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, my pick. I got so many of them. But I'm going to go ahead with this one. I'm going to shock some people here. Again, AEW Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I watched just a bit of it, but the part that I seen moved me. And that's when Edge came out and the whole crowd was singing.
Oh, yeah, that was close for me. Because, oh, yeah, I know, yeah.
That's the type of movement and togetherness from fans that I love to see at a professional wrestling venue. I don't care what their 3-4 level initials are. That is awesome. Yeah. That is what pro wrestling is about. That is what the essence of what fans are about. And I know I'll put AEW down a lot because of what they do, but when I see something they do right, I'm going to call it out. And that was awesome. And I'm sorry
Yes.
for them to allow that to happen because WWE would have cut them off in the end. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But AEW did have the wherewithal to let that moment happen and to let it sit in with the fans and everybody that was watching.
Mm-hmm.
It was purely a moment of history that I think should be really appreciated.
Yes. See, here's the thing about wrestling fans. We have long memories. And when we appreciate an athlete, we show it in as many ways as possible. And we definitely appreciate Adam Copeland for all that he's done and sacrificed in every company that he's been in. And to have him be touched by that moment, and you could tell he was.
Oh yeah, I
It
saw
was
his reaction.
oh
He
yeah,
was
it was
amazed.
yeah, it was just a sweet moment. And if it hadn't been for Roxanne Perez's little stunt, that would have made my moment of the week because that was such a sweet thing. And wrestling fans in general, no matter where they are, we when we're allowed to give those sweet moments to certain performers, it's something that needs to be beheld, and it's very touching. Like the chants for Bailey when in certain arenas. Hey Bailey, I want to know, will you be my girl? I love that chant. And for whatever reason, it's more prominent overseas, but like that's old school NXT stuff, and people still remember. And they were trying to do it last night, but it got cut off for whatever reason, which is what ironically that Bobby mentioned why that WWE would cut off a moment like what happened with Copeland and them chanting that song, but yeah, just moments like that are what does wrestling fans credit. We are not toxic. We just know what we like.
That's what she said.
Thank you for joining us on Oh. Okay.
Oh my God. All right, check this out. We're gonna skip. Who gets the best promo in wrestling? Then we're gonna go to best match you have watched live.
Okay. All right.
So, Tigress.
The
Miss
best match
Tigress.
I've watched live.
Mm-hmm.
The woman that loves not Will Ospreay, excuse me.
Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega.
And Jeff
The
Hardy.
woman who loves Chris Jericho. And the woman who loves Willow. Please. Gracious.
Oh man.
It doesn't matter. I'm just playing with it.
Oh.
God, I don't think I've seen not one match live.
Are you serious?
You know, I seem to remember that now. You have not been to a live wrestling event yet.
Really?
You know what? That's okay. I was watching professional.
Wow.
No, it took like a year and a half of being a wrestling fan before I saw my first live matches. And
I know a lot of people who are watching are shocked that I've never seen a wrestling show live. Some are, and some are just, and the other half watching are just like, you call yourself a wrestling fan. You're not a wrestling fan because you never
screw
seen
them.
No.
live. I'm like,
screw them.
Yeah, forget them.
In this economy, that is not a easy thing to do.
No,
it's not because the way the tickets are, tickets these days cost the same amount as your mortgage. Ticket prices these days cost as much as the luxury apartments they got now.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you got to add in gas. You got to add the hotel costs if you're going from, you know, going to see a wrestling show in another town or another city or state.
Mm-hmm.
You got to
Yeah,
throw that in
exactly.
too. You got to also throw in, you know, plane tickets, everything like that. That's basically your whole month's paycheck saved up, just blown
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah, and as much of a fan as I am, as much of a hardcore wrestling fanatic as I am, I only go to, if I'm not calling matches
Hmm.
for a show, I will go as a fan maybe once, twice a year,
Hmm.
because not only is it expensive, but you want to go to a show that you know you're going to like.
And it goes
And
back, and it goes back to what we were talking about on the last show. Has wrestling like is wrestling the same like it was back then? I don't think it is, because back then you could go to a wrestling live show and everybody could afford it.
Mhm.
Now, can't nobody afford it. If you're lucky and you could afford it, you would have to put a little bit of your pay of money from your paycheck and save up just to afford it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And in this economy, that's practically impossible.
It is.
If you're going to a show that you know you're going to love.
Hmm.
Ty, I want you to do me a favor. Text me where you are in North Carolina.
I'm actually
Well, you can text
outside
it
of
to me. I don't want everybody to know. I ain't gonna be
Okay.
calling stalkers coming to your house. I just want to know. Just text it to me.
Yeah. Just tell Bobby your general location in North Carolina, and he'll be able to tell you an independent show you can go to that you can afford.
Hmm.
Because there's nothing like the live experience.
Okay.
There's nothing like it. It's kind of like going to a battle of the bands where the bands actually kick each other's ass. That's the best way I can describe it.
Well, they could have at
Oh,
least. Well, if the bands are gonna kick each other's asses, at least make it a no DQ, I quit, Falls Count Anywhere match.
That's for an independent show, that might be exactly what you get, especially in North Carolina. So tell Bobby where you're closest to, and he can probably give you a good idea of the kind of independent show you can get to.
Okay.
Okay, my favorite match that I have ever seen live. I wouldn't exactly call it a technical masterpiece, although it was damn good. But there was a lot of emotional tie-in for me when it came to this event, because it was the last one that I went to with my brother. It was at the first Double or Nothing 2019 Las Vegas, and it was the match between Cody and Dustin. Specifically, it had to do with the storyline they did, brother versus brother, and the build up to it, and the fact that I was sitting with my older brother in the audience, and we watched that match together. And the the promo that Cody cut after the match was over, that imitated his father's promo from '94 to Dustin, and it was just such a powerful moment, and there wasn't a dry eye in the audience that night. Um, and it was such a fantastic match overall, and just everything that went into it and all the emotion that went into it, on top of the fact that it was a great match in and of itself. That was one of my favorite experiences live. So Cody versus Dustin, Double or Nothing 2019.
I'm
But-
going to go all the way to the independents on this one.
Okay.
The match that I saw live, they got my attention real bad, was the Soul Shooters taking on TVZ.
Hmm.
Now, I know everybody that watches this program like, who the hell are these two motherfuckers?
I know.
But I'm going to tell you, if you ask anybody that was around back in the 2010 era up to 2018, 2019, there were two tag teams that were known. One was out of Indianapolis, Indiana, Soul Shooters, Apollo Q Star, Sicka Star, and Drew Skills.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got a team out of Shelbyville. And their names are slipping, and I'm sorry, Tom and Troy Van Zant. There they go. That's why they call them TVZ. Actually, Tom guided me in my career a little bit when it came to promos. These guys put on a tag team clinic that would make the Motor City Machine Guns look like they were shitting on themselves.
Hmm.
I watched that match and was just stuck. And I literally spilled half my pop out of my hand because I was just amazed at what they were doing. Sometimes the best matches that you see are not on the big 3 or 4 letters organization. Sometimes those matches happen right there in your town. So I encourage everybody watching this to go to independent shows and check them out. Support your good independent wrestling. This was one of the all-time matches in my book. I loved it. TVZ versus the Soul Shooters. Loved it. You know, props to Apollo Q Star, Tom and Troy Van Zant, and yeah, you too, Drew Skills. So
Yeah. And like I said before, if you don't recognize these names, look them up because you will go down a rabbit hole that will be a incredible experience for you as a wrestling fan. If you don't know these names, huh?
Like Zarya.
God. Yeah, exactly. Look, anytime you hear these names and you don't know who they are, look them up because you will find things in the wrestling world that you have never experienced before, and you'll find that you cannot live without. There is a whole world of stuff out there as far as wrestling goes that you can explore just by looking up a name you've never heard before.
That's true. That is definitely true.
Oh yeah.
Man, I mean.
Now our final category today is the best match that we've ever seen on TV, and since Ty has never seen live, we'll let you have first shot at your best favorite match from TV.
Omega versus Willow. No? Okay.
Has that ever happened? Kenny Omega versus
In her
Jeff
head?
Hardy?
No.
Oh,
I wish it happened in my head.
hopefully not the way that it happens in Randy Orton's head.
No.
They talk to me, they understand, they talk to me.
You would like it if they talked to her.
Thank you for joining us on FTW.
All right. I have two wrestling matches that I've seen on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And that is AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura from Wrestle Kingdom.
Okay.
Wrestle Kingdom 10, to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
And my second match is Jericho versus Omega, Wrestle Kingdom 12.
Cool. Very cool stuff. My favorite match I've ever seen on television this is actually this goes back quite a ways. It's the cage match from Saturday night's main event, January of 1987. Hulk Hogan versus Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. The close of their feud, the famous tie ending that saw both of them hit the floor at the same time and have to restart the match. That was, oh yeah, that was a fantastic, a dramatic match. One of the best steel cage matches of the 80s. And you got to give Orndorff props because he was just amazing in that match, and just was all over the place as far as doing incredible things with that blue barred cage that you wouldn't think would be done, especially on a live TV broadcast. Now, Saturday Night Live just had their 50th anniversary just this Saturday. I have not seen that, but I would love if somebody did a 30th anniversary Saturday night main event special. And that's something that I hope WWE does with their current Saturday night main event schedule.
Yep.
But this match was so awesome, especially toward the end, and the one spot where Bobby the Brain Heenan literally ate the cage. Hogan grabbed him, launched him against the cage, and he just full body blocked it, and it looked like it just looked like Heenan got knocked for a fucking loop. It was unbelievable stuff, and I love that match and have never hesitated in watching it every time that I've come across it. So that was my favorite ever match on television. Bobby?
I'm going to shock everybody again, because this match involves somebody I don't like.
Okay.
But I think it was one of the most underrated matches, but one of the best matches there was. There's a guy, he's now in AEW, that was very underrated in WWE. That should have got a lot more blessings than he did, a lot more fanfare than he did, and he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, the guy that he was going against runs NXT, and his best friend is the COO. I was speaking of the match that was on Monday Night Raw, Shawn Michaels versus Shelton Benjamin. That match was a classic. That match was a WrestleMania type match. Shelton Benjamin clowned in that match. Shelton Benjamin showed he was WWE champion material in that match. And it scared everybody, because they knew he was good. They knew he was a damn good tag team wrestler too. But they did not expect that out of Shelton Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
Shelton Benjamin went up 30 levels in that match. And they all got scared and kept him under the rug. Shelton Benjamin made his name and made himself known to be, in my opinion, better than Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm. Ironically enough, in OVW, Shelton Benjamin was Brock Lesnar's partner.
Yeah.
And he was specifically put with him because he had a better personality than Lesnar, and was able to sell and carry a match and give Lesnar the hot tag.
But you know what? When you look at what he did in that match with Shawn Michaels, I'm not saying it because I don't like Shawn Michaels. I'm saying this because I'm just telling the truth. In my opinion, he outclassed Shawn Michaels in that match. Shelton Benjamin was the man, and I love that match. I try to go back to it and watch it every rip.
They call him and Charlie Haas the world's greatest tag team for a reason.
Right, but he's
they are skill wise. Haas and Benjamin are close to the Steiners.
Yes, very much so. That would have been a match I would have liked to see.
Oh hell yes, that would have been a 10-star affair right there. The Steiners versus Haas and Benjamin in their primes. Holy crap.
And you know what? I'm going to say this. I'm hoping and I'm praying AEW sees his talent and they let him get the AEW World Championship.
I would hope so. I mean, right now he and Lashley are the tag team champions.
I know, so, the tag team again. It makes me sick.
But they're doing so well, though.
No, I'm sorry. They got so many belts in AEW. This is what I'm looking at. Bobby Lashley has had the big championship already. Dude, you don't need AEW World Championship. Leave that alone. Let him get the, what do they call it, the International Championship or something, all right?
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander is a free agent. Have him come over. Cedric deserves the title, but he needs one of the lower titles. So figure out one for him. But Shelton Benjamin should get that main AEW title because he fits their federation so well. And then also recruit a tag team to come in, and then they get the tag team titles. That way, all 5 of them got belts.
Authors of Pain.
No.
No?
No. I don't think Authors of No, not Authors of Pain. I'm going to tell you who WWE has that they're fucking around with. And honestly, I think Tony Khan would pick them up. And they are a damn good tag team if they let them go. You might have to think about who they are for a second, though. Because WWE seems like they've closeted them. And that's in the share. The tag team from India.
Yeah.
The bearded guys, the big muscle-bound bearded guys that didn't tag with their hands, they tag with their forearms.
I have completely forgotten who those guys are.
I think everybody did.
Because WWE put them under a rug.
Yeah, that's Bobby's point. They've been hiding them.
Those dudes were cold. And they were trying to expand to India and do all this stuff, and then all of a sudden they just stopped. Now, I hate bringing this up, but Tony Khan is from the area. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he can go hook up with some people and say, look, man, WWE ain't usually going to tell them to holler at me when we're done. And they come over and they get in the share. And I'm sorry, in the share is just beast. They don't need the mic. They have MVP as a talking piece.
Mm-hmm.
And they just dominate because those boys are bad. If you don't know in the share, look them up.
Again, yeah, down the rabbit hole, folks.
And that's the WWE rabbit hole.
That's very true. That's very true. I mean, there is so much out there to explore, and we've spent this whole episode talking about our likes and dislikes and personal favorites, but find your own, ladies and gentlemen. Even if they're WWE stuff or AEW stuff, don't be the tribalistic fan.
Yeah.
That only puts yourself into one category, because as much as we like to argue on this program about the faults and strengths of each promotion, as a wrestling fan, you need to watch all of them, at least passively, to find out what you really love, what you really need to see, because there is so much out there, and you can find the best wrestling in the smallest independent promotion. And that's one of my pet peeves about some of the old guard, specifically Jim Cornette. Now, I love Jim Cornette. He's been in the business 40 years, but when he refers to certain independent federations as outlaw mud shows, I don't think that's fair. Because just because you're having a show with 50 audience members in a high school gym or a rec center, you can still have damn good professional wrestling out of that. And Cornette is a good example of that. Smoky Mountain Wrestling, again, look that up if you've never heard of it, but Smoky Mountain Wrestling had some of the best performances and matches of the 1990s, and they performed them in front of small audiences in high schools and rec centers all over Tennessee and Kentucky. And that is one of the places where you find the best wrestling you'll ever find. And as a fan, you need to watch it across the board to find out what you really like and what you're really passionate about, because that's the spectrum, that's the fandom, and you will meet people of several different categories and personalities. You want to talk about versatile personalities and getting to know people, you will meet some of the most interesting people you've ever seen in your life if you go to independent wrestling as well as major promotions. So get out there is all I'm saying.
And I like to personally tell my point of support independent wrestling. Support but do your research and support good independent wrestling.
Oh yeah. Do your research, support your local promotion, and have fun.
Yes.
Because it's out there.
Because one of my likes is to meet Zarya and yeah.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. That's an even 10 for this week. And I think that about wraps it up for this edition of FTW Future Focus. And on behalf...
Call me Zarya.
Oh, good Lord. On behalf of the absent Marvelous Marcus Buckley and Tony Motan Allen, we will see those characters next week, along with the Tigress Ty Nickerson and the man with the plan, the mastermind Bobby Rogers. I am your not-so-humble correspondent, Robert Black. We will definitely see you in the future. And hit that James Brown, baby!
Hit it. How you feel, brother? Feeling good. You feel good? Feeling good. It's groovy. There's so much bone, brother. How you feel, man? I feel all right. I'll call your name. I don't want no people to know you're in here. How you feel, brother? That jam. Sure getting down. Look at him. Ha. We're gonna have a funky good time. 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 Let's take 'em up, Fred.